What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages? Joker back again, once again, and today, people, today I am keeping a promise I made 2 weeks ago. And I'm covering the Witch Queen leaks in relation to the Witch Queen teaser trailers. Look, a lot of stuff happened. I know I said I would have it out that week, but I mean this. So yeah. Also, I just went to the dentist, so if I sound weird, it's because my mouth and jaw still hurt. Anyways, if you didn't catch it the first time, we're going to be talking about the leaks. These leaks are spoilers. This is your spoiler alert. We will be talking about everything, from the story, to the strikes, to the raids, to the itemization of content. If you appreciate spoiler alerts, but don't want to watch the video, remember to like, subscribe, feel free to donate to my Patreon if you're feeling particularly generous, but above all else, stay frosty. For everybody else, let's get into it. So, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages who have stuck around past the spoiler warning, this is kind of your second spoiler warning if you didn't get to it. Are you ready to go on a journey? Because we're about to go on a journey. Back on July 21st, 2021, so around half a year ago, give or take, I published a video called Destiny 2. Does the lore confirm the Season 2, 15, and Witch Queen leaks? This video basically took a look at the leaks and asked, is this possible within Destiny lore? The conclusion was basically yes, but, and. One of the main points of contention was around the narrative of Witch Queen. Basically, at the end of Season 15, Savathun will die. Gasp! Shock! Horror! Lightning crackle, lightning crackle, lightning crackle! I know, we're all just surprised! Savathun will die after having her worm extracted from her. The leak states that we don't see Savathun revived then and there, and we're told that there's basically a hole in the narrative between when Savathun dies and is revived, and Witch Queen starts. We also know that the main story of Witch Queen has us being tricked by Savathun into recovering her memories, because Savathun doesn't have them, like every Guardian ever. Even Shin Malphur, who they had to make a baby guardian, so it made sense that he had his memories. I'm gonna forget that was a thing. So of course, if Savathun doesn't have her memories, this begs the question, how did Savathun know to go back to her throne world after being revived? And then enact this plan that involves us recovering her memories, Total Recall style. Now we'll probably find out over the course of the narrative or in a lore book, but it was kind of a plot hole and it made me somewhat doubt the validity of the leaks. Turns out, the leaks are true. For example, this concept art of Savathun that popped up before the announcement, turned out that's exactly what Savathun looks like, and there's her ghost. The tagline for Witch Queen being "Survive the Truth" was part of the leaks, and so on and so forth. Even the release date of February 22nd, 2022, you guessed it, in the leaks. If we look at the scope of what's presented in the leaks, the campaign will be 8 missions long. 5 will be Persage quality or higher. Witch Queen will have Taken King level of secrets, a new tincture-esque mechanic called Deep Sight, learned during the campaign, used to root out Savathun's memories within her throne world, as well as tying into weapon crafting. I innately do not like the sound of that. Another leak that showed off the Dares of Eternity before it was announced outlines 2 exotic quests, 2 strikes, 1 new, 1 reused from the story. We all know how much everyone loves that. Weapon crafting with some kind of monetized tie-in, which, to be fair, could mean anything from something as harmless as you have to own the DLC to something as invasive as, like, I don't know, transmog. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If this all turns out to be true, Witch Queen is one of, if not the most, anemic DLCs we've ever seen. Now, before anybody gets their panties in a knot and goes, "But Joker!" that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bad. It simply means what's there has to knock it out of the park. I've played 2-hour games that blew my mind. I played 400-hour games that were dull, repetitive drivel. More content doesn't necessarily mean a better game. Less content doesn't necessarily mean a bad game. Witch Queen will be all about the execution of the content that it has. Get it? Got it? Good? Are we all in agreement? Is anybody gonna get mad and be like, "But Joker?" Yeah, probably, but hey, fuck it, details. Moving forward, for this part of the video, I'm going to use my old July 21st, 2021 video as sort of a setup for a few things that we're going to be talking about between the two Witch Queen teaser trailers, simply because it's a verifiable relic of a time before we knew what Witch Queen was and only had these leaks. Anyways, without further ado, say hello to who is potentially Savathun. Now, is this real, or is this something a fan whipped up to fuck with the community?
Tell me, O honored guest. Don't you want to escape?
Turns out, as we stated earlier, this would be a big old fat confirmerino. Season 15, however, will focus around killing Savathun. Dun dun dun! That's right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages. According to these leaks, Savathun will die in Season 15. Season 15 narrative. Savathun is killed in Season 15 when we help her rid her of her worm, so she can be revived by a ghost, fulfilling that whole devotion, bravery, sacrifice thing. They don't want her to steal the light so they can keep the Traveler and the Black Fleet morally gray. Well, that's entirely what Season 15 is about, so yeah, that's a big green check mark as well. Thune says that she will give us back the real Osiris if we help her get rid of her worm. When we do that, the Traveler gives her the light, and now the Hive have guardians. No, seriously, the Hive will now have guardians. The new Hive will be called Lucent Lieutenants, and they get light attacks, and are not friendly allies.
My ghost brought me back. We kept going. She knew we would.
And that's when you saw the night.
I'll never forget it.
They refused to die.
Yeah, just like us.
And you're sure? You're absolutely sure it was light? Savathun's illusions can fool the senses.
No, I know what I saw. This is real.
That's another yes, and according to the leaks, the Lucent Lieutenants have full subclasses, e.g., Knights get Sentinel, so suppressor nades, barricades, etc. The Hive Ghost will also factor into gameplay.
And you're sure?
And we see all of that. We see a Knight go into Sentinel, we see nades thrown, we see a barricade, and it looks like this barricade has Sight and Rampart's exotic effect. You and your allies can shoot through your towering barricade, which has reduced health and duration. First mission overview. You go to Mars. It's stuck in a past, grassy, present, future, Taken Rift. You come up to the peak of a hill, where you see the Dreadnought for the first time, with Keitel's fleet fighting the Hive in the skybox. Very Phobos mission-y. Working with Ikora Ray, you launch yourself with a man cannon into the ship. This is where you fight a Hive Guardian for the first time. You then find the portal to Savathun's throne world on board. You go through it, find Savathun, who sends you straight back to Mars.
And on Mars. It looked wrong. Like we were in a dream.
And you boarded Savathun's ship.
Wicked thing. The lure.
Yeah, we wanted to find her. Try to gain the upper hand. But she was baiting us.
Okay, so this is pretty self-evident. We're back on Mars. We see this grassy past, this present, future Taken. We see Savathun's Dreadnought. We see Keitel's Cabal fleet fighting. We launch ourselves with a man cannon. It's exactly what happens in the teaser trailer. In fact, I would dare say that everything that we see in the Destiny 2 Witch Queen Game Award teaser trailer is from the first mission. Sight. As when she was revived by her ghost, she lost them. She tries to trick the Traveler into her throne world, attempting to cut off the outside universe from its light, using a big bowl. Said bowl is where the strike will be.
Guardian? Guardian, do you read me?
So there's a lot going on here, but not really. In the Destiny 2, the Witch Queen official Savathûn's Throne World teaser trailer, say that 5 times fast, we open on Guardians inspecting an orb, pondering it, one might say. And this orb is what I believe gives us access to Savathûn's memories. And I think part of the trick that we're tricked into using it is because it's part of this magical, wonderful weapon crafting system that we just come across. Bait for Guardians. The leak also tells us that she tries to trick the Traveler into her throne world, attempting to cut off the outside universe from using the light. This is done using a big bowl. Said big bowl is where the strike will be. Ding! Big bowl. It also sounds like this last mission story strike is where we defeat Savathûn. Yay! So another Shadowkeep Beyond Light Destiny 2 Vanilla, where we beat the big bad during the story mission, not the raid. And then the raid is something completely different. It all depends on execution. It sounds bad right now because, you know, you kind of want to fight Savathûn in a raid, kind of like Oryx, but it all depends on execution. Could be the coolest thing ever. So let's wait and see. After defeating Savathûn in the campaign, she tells you that the witness is coming. The Traveler then takes her body and her ghost escapes. The witness reveals itself. I have seen enough and I am coming. At the end of the campaign, the pyramid ship will activate, starting the road to the raid. So thoughts? As I stated earlier, this looks to be one of, if not the smallest DLCs ever. I know people will say, but Joker, what about weapon crafting? Yeah, we basically already did that in Destiny 1 with rerolling, and you know what happened? It homogenized the meta, more so than it already was. Everybody had the same exact weapon with the same exact god roll. It was boring, which, funny enough, is why static rolls in Destiny 2 Year 1 didn't work. A lot of people are hyped for this feature, but I don't think it necessarily works in a looter shooter, where the active goal is player retention via the grind for loot. And I'm sure some will say, but Joker, what about the new 6-man activity in the Throne World? Yeah, another Horde mode, not Horde mode like we needed another one, and will that be part of Witch Queen or part of Season 16? I don't imagine Bungie releasing 2 not Horde modes at once. Okay, but Joker, what about the Throne World secrets? Yeah, remember Taken King? Remember how everybody figured them out in like the first week and then they were pointless afterwards because it was all pointless loot? Okay, I guess. I'm not trying to sound cynical or jaded here, but I do believe that there's a lot of hype around content that will be very copy-paste or downright corrosive to the player experience. Or just a waste of time. The real bulk of Destiny content, the real meat of the game, are strikes, dungeons, raids, and PvP. And poor Gambit if you have a sick, twisted sense of humor. And even then, I would argue that dungeons and raids have a pretty short lifespan. Sure, it's longer than any story-based content, but dungeons and raids have a set number of weapons, with a set number of rolls, with a set goal. And once that's done, it's done. Witch Queen will support some of these things, but not all of them. So the content that it does provide, the story, the open world, all of that, Witch Queen absolutely cannot be another Shadowkeep or Beyond Light. I want Witch Queen to be the best Destiny 2 DLC ever. Hell, I want it to be the best Destiny DLC ever. However, with as little content as it has little room for error. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Remember to like, but only if you did. Subscribe for more. Feel free to donate to my Patreon if you're feeling particularly generous. But above all else, stay frosty.